Hey you, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Individuals in the St. Louis area are saying back in the Cold War era, the government actually secretly experimented on them. Let's dive into this. Now, at this time, nuclear power was at a height, so they interviewed Ben Phillips, and like many kids in many parts of the country, he remembers watching men in hazmat suits scurry on roofs of high-rise buildings as dense material poured into the air, and I quote, now 73-year-old Ben Phillips, I remember the mist. I remember what we thought was smoke rising out of the chimneys. Then there were machines on top of buildings that were spewing the mist. Now, this is Cold War time, and nuclear power is coming to a light. It's coming to be a big thing. So that's not abnormal. But what is abnormal is this. During the 1950s and 1960s, in certain areas, very specific St. Louis areas, they can say this. The Army actually used blowers on top of buildings to blow a carcinogen into the air, or a potential carcinogen, surrounding a St. Louis housing project. Now, this one project was not just dusted with all of the nuclear waste that was in the air at those time. The government says that it's a zinc cadmium sulfide that was sprayed into the air just to simulate what would happen under a biological weapons attack. I don't know about you, but I definitely would have an issue with that. They're not just spraying some random harmless mist in the air.
Yet another government experiment being brought to light. And there's so many more that we don't even know about, and so many that we may never even know about. The government has been pretty disgusting when it comes to stuff like this. And there's nothing we can do about it because half of the stuff that they do, we don't even know about. So they say that there's rules and regulations, but come on, they're not following them. Excuse me while I squeeze in here a second. Thank you for stopping by. If there's a topic that you'd like me to cover, please just let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to get it in one of my upcoming videos. If this type of content is your jam, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
In March 2012, astronomers reported an unusual sighting of a UFO larger than Jupiter hovering near the Sun for 24 hours straight, absorbing plasma. Despite initial skepticism, images from NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory confirmed the event. Scientists were baffled by the object's massive size and ability to withstand the intense heat and radiation of the Sun. Some speculated that it could be an alien spacecraft or a natural phenomenon yet to be discovered. What do you think? Leave a comment.
That is incredible footage. I know it's a little bit old, but I'd never seen it before, and I just ran across it and I thought it was so neat. I've never seen anything like that. I'm sure a lot of people haven't, and I don't think it's necessarily aliens. I'm sure there's a magnificent scientific explanation for it, but yeah, maybe it could be aliens. You never know.
Hey everybody, are you eating sucralose? Here's some things to think about if you are. This is actually a chlorinated sugar product that is 600 times sweeter than sugar itself, and it's unrecognizable by the body. You can't digest it and break it down. And so what do you find sucralose in? Splenda, salad dressings, condiments, protein powders, sauces. These are all things that they hide this artificial sweetener in, and it can be causing problems to your system. Here are the top 4 things that sucralose can do in your body. Number 1, it can cause diabetes. I'm going to do a video on this in the future, but it can regulate how well you balance blood sugar. Number 2, it can increase your risk of irritable bowel syndrome and Crohn's disease. Why? You can't break it down, you can't digest it, and you can't use it. Number 3, it's linked to leaky gut. Anytime there's leaky gut present, it's because there's an inflammatory process that has taken place, and it's because of this non-food product. And number 4, it can be associated with weight gain. If it can cause diabetes and metabolic problems and insulin resistance, it's also going to lead to the problems losing weight as well. And so if you're eating sucralose, just ditch it. Your body's going to thank you.
My mom, who is diabetic, was drinking sugar-free coffee creamer, it's loaded with sucralose, and her sugars are just out of control. So this is all being snuck into your healthy foods, right? The low sugar items. They're just loaded with sucralose, it's just as bad as sugar. And it's banned in everywhere else except for here. So, but it's in everything. It's crazy. It's in everything.
Why did we lose body hair as we evolved? Wouldn't more body hair be an advantage? That's a good question, and you make a good point. Body hair does have its advantages. The same question puzzled Darwin, who eventually hypothesized it had to do with sexual selection. Fur definitely kept our ancestors warm when they were sleeping on the cold forest floor, but eventually we left that forest and moved to the savanna. That brought with it a shift in diet as we moved to meat and began hunting prey animals. And by observing modern hunter-gatherers today, we can see how they brought down these large game animals through persistence hunting. This involves chasing the animal in the hottest part of the day until it dies from exhaustion. This is where the hair loss becomes important. One of the most important factors in our endurance is the ability to sweat. This allows us to cool ourselves down while running, while animals with fewer sweat glands have to stop and pant. This allowed us to fill a new niche and hunt during the hottest part of the day when the predators were staying cool. What?
So, well, that makes a lot of sense, and it is evidence based and lots of science involved. And I'm not one to question the science. I still like the Anunnaki story better, but why can't they both be true? Why can't they both be plausible? Speaking of the persistence hunting, I did another video. I'm going to link that down below. Check it out. It's kind of neat.
Rihanna is under a lot of controversy after mocking Christianity in her latest magazine cover. In a collaboration with Interview magazine, she dresses up as a provocative nun and flashes the camera while doing so. As you can see here in the collaboration post, she's dressed up as a slutty nun. Rihanna has been very open about her ties to the occult, while even throwing up an Illuminati pyramid symbol while she was performing at the Super Bowl halftime show to indicate her allegiance to Satan. What's really sad is before Rihanna sold her soul to the devil, she was actually raised Christian by her mom when she grew up in Barbados. Just about 12 years ago, she was openly vocal about her Christian faith on Twitter, even saying how the power of God would bring her unspeakable joy. She even mentioned how she's a fan of Joyce Meyer, who's a female Christian preacher. Now, over a decade later, after being initiated in the Hollywood occult, we see a completely different person who takes no regard for God at all. It's almost insane to see how dark this industry can turn people. No amount of fame, money, or success is worth your eternal soul going to hell. The enemy will truly use the lust of this world to entrap you and strip you of your God-given identity. Because the Rihanna that we see is not the person that God intended her to be, but rather a demonically influenced altered identity that will do the will of Lucifer whenever he commands her to.
That's an interesting position. In the role of Lucifer today, we do have society and likes. So the more likes you get, the more society loves you, right? So the more crazy things you do, the more popular you become. And in this society, even bad publicity is still good publicity. I mean, check out the algorithm for YouTube, right? Any activity is good activity. It is activity. It is causing people to look at you. So people do just absolutely obscene things that may be considered demonic or Satan worshiping or whatever it may be, just to get popularity. Just like John Cena, it's relevance. You need to be relevant, whether it's for a good reason or a bad reason. That's what they want because it's still relevant. It's still popularity and it's still feeding that ego.
Sometimes tiger sharks can be persistent. So this is Kaylee redirecting this individual here, and then the same shark comes right over to me and I need to push her off as well. After following through with her, the shark actually turns back and goes right towards Kaylee again. Kaylee is ready to redirect her, and here she goes, pushing her down again. And then here the shark does a bit of a loop, actually looking around her surroundings, kind of deciding where she wants to go and what she wants to check out next. She begins to get closer to me, and it looks like she's going to swim by me, but last minute, here she comes back over and wants to examine me one more time. And believe it or not, she still goes right back over to Kaylee again as well. This is why we always need to be alert when working with these sharks, because you never know how many times they will want to check you out.
So I like to think that I have an overwhelming respect for the ocean and the teeth that live in it. because stuff bites you in the ocean. I don't know how people do that. What is the allure of that? It's is it the adrenaline that it could eat you? I'm not particularly fond of putting myself in a position where there's a good chance that I'm gonna bleed. No thanks. No. Oh, and here's why. Yep. No. 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 Not even gonna lie. I can only watch like 5 seconds of that, and my stomach is just like, "Bleh." That is, I can't do that. How do people do that? That is like right there with the sharks. You're like up on this tall mountain. You've got this much space to put this much tire on, and if you turn even the slightest little bit, bloop, you're done. I cannot. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It just the adrenaline. It's got to be the adrenaline, right? I mean, I personally, like I said before, my adrenaline stops at roller coasters. That's enough crazy for me. But that's mm-mm, that's too much. Well, I personally cannot take that anymore. So I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for joining me for my 80th episode. I really appreciate you hanging out, and I really hope to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.